So my videos about Hasbulla, Magomedov, and Abdu Rozik blew up as more people in the English-speaking world found out about them in May. And because of this clear interest and demand for more content, as well as, I have to admit, a healthy dose of fear of alienating my new subscribers, love you guys, I decided to delay my other content and make this video answering the most asked questions about the two fighters. By far, far, far away, the most asked question has to do with their ages. Clearly people are not watching the video, or my accent is very bad, or maybe they've just been burned too many times by liars on the internet. Really, I'm not messing with you. They are teenagers. Hasbulla is 19 this year. And Abdu Rozik is 17, turning 18 sometime this year. A lot of people also wondered what exactly is going on, what makes them so small. The obvious answer is that they have a kind of dwarfism. But in doing research for this video, I learned that there are over 300 conditions that can cause dwarfism. And I assumed that all of them were genetic, but they're not. Whatever the cause of it, the outward expression of dwarfism allows it to be divided into two main categories, which helps a lot with the process of elimination, which I hope you'll go through with me now, because I come up with what I think is the answer to the question, why are they little? Category 1, disproportionate dwarfism. Basically, a person in this category will have some average sized parts of the body and some shorter or smaller sized parts of the body. Achondroplasia is the most common form in this category. I feel like this kind of disproportionate dwarfism is the one we're most aware of. Most people have seen people with this condition. But looking at Abdu Rozik and Hasbulla, we can probably agree that they're not disproportionate, which is why most people at first glance assume that they were children. So I think we can agree that we can eliminate that whole category and move on to category 2, which is proportionate dwarfism. In this category, the person is simply smaller than the average all over. Smaller, but proportionately so. A few people in the comments mentioned primordial dwarfism, so let's look at that first. There are 5 extremely rare genetic disorders that cause it. Each will keep a person small, sometimes extremely so, but in many cases they will be entirely proportionate. From that description alone, it might seem like we have an answer, but all the causes of primordial dwarfism also come with extreme health challenges, and many people with these conditions will not live beyond the age of 30. A person with primordial dwarfism, for example, will have some, if not all, of the following: poor vision, heart problems, severe issues with joints and bones, microcephaly, which is a far smaller than average head, potentially severe cognitive impairment, and scoliosis or sideways curvature of the spine. In addition, many but not all will have significant facial abnormalities and or a distinctive nose. Looking at both Hasbulla and Abdu Rozik, I think again we can agree that they're very energetic and nimble. They don't appear to have many things inhibiting their movement. They also talk some high-level trash, which means that, mentally they're unaffected. So we can eliminate, I think, primordial dwarfism, which leaves the next one on the list, growth hormone deficiency, or GHD. Again, a number of conditions can lead to the deficiency of growth hormone. From what I've read, all will be caused by something impacting the functioning of the pituitary gland. There might be a genetic cause, or it could be something else, perhaps like a tumor, but sometimes it's just mysterious and there is no apparent cause. GHD can happen at any point in childhood, but it's most often detected in 3 to 4-year-olds because it's at this point that many of them go off to preschool or aftercare, and parents and caregivers are then able to make visual comparisons with other children. And this alerts them to the fact that, something's up with their kid. And it's normally confirmed by then doing some blood tests or an MRI to see if the pituitary is functioning. Apparently most people with GHD are otherwise healthy, they're just not growing. People with GHD might also lack other hormones, and so the not growing often means that puberty will be delayed or prevented. The puberty thing, the mental capacity thing, the lack of other disabilities, and just the overall function. They look like children, play like children, that kind of thing. I think that GHD dwarfism best explains both Abdu Rozik and Hasbulla's childlike appearance. Now I did, again, not just base this solely on the internet, I reached out to a doctor and she agreed that from a distance, this does appear to be growth hormone deficiency. But without other medical tests, it can't be confirmed. This doctor then went on to explain that it can be treated with injectable hormones, normally a cocktail of growth hormone and any other hormones that are missing, and that this will help the person grow with the achievable goal, the underlying goal is to get them to the average or expected height. If Hasbulla and Abdu Rozik do in fact have GHD, it means that they did not receive that treatment or it was unsuccessful for some reason. I don't want to keep speculating, but it might have had something to do with money. The cost for this kind of hormone replacement at the low end is $7,500 per year, which is significant. But at 19 and 17, most of the growing is done. So any treatment they now receive will probably only give them a small boost in height and size. They would still go through puberty, which again has, it would seem, not yet happened for either Hasbulla or Abdu Rozik, or they're doing some amazing work with whatever the Russian equivalent is of Gillette. So there you have it. My best, near completely uneducated guess, and done from afar, albeit backed by a doctor, is that Hasbulla and Abdu Rozik appear childlike because they both have some kind of growth hormone deficiency. Check my math on that. Let me know what you think.
You idiots.
And no, GHD will not stop you aging. It's just an appearance thing. They will age. They are not immortal. They will die. When is the fight? The truth is, I have no idea. I'm sorry. In the second interview, Tamaev mentions the fight happening tomorrow, but no fight has materialized yet 10 days later. And as of recording this, no date has been set. My gut tells me that we're in the hype phase and we'll be here for a very, very long time. And, you know, can't fault them on that. Gotta make hay while the sun shines. Make lemonade when life gives you lemons, all that. And I mean, I'm one of those people. I'm here on video number 3, so who am I to complain, you know? If you pushed me and forced me to give you an answer, the most I would say is that they're probably waiting for Abdu Rozik to turn 18 before they set anything down in stone. There also seems to be growing pushback in their respective homelands. Even before they went viral outside of the ex-Soviet republics, the first fight date was cancelled because someone paid them not to fight. And now with this virality, members of the fighting and little people communities are coming out against the fight. In learning about the outcry and resistance to their fight, my initial response was, if they're consenting adults, which they seem to be, I think they should be allowed to make their own choices and decide to fight whoever they want to fight and make some bank, you know? And if they're medically fit and they dedicate themselves to professional training, it could be a real showcase of their ability, and it could really change the perceptions their naysayers, their opponents have, and maybe change the perception of what it means to be disabled or what is a disability, both in their home countries and maybe globally, seeing as this has now gone viral. But, you know, there are a lot of ifs in that statement. So I can see why various people might be against the fight, you know, because history shows us that this kind of thing can rapidly devolve into a kind of circus spectacle, which is what both the professional fighters and the little people have been fighting to move away from. And I don't think Tamaev and Hasbulla could be accused of shying away from spectacle. And bonus final question, not related to the two guys. Are you South African? Yes, I am. I was born and raised in Cape Town, down there at the, you know, near the southern tip of Africa, but I now live in the USA. And I arrived just before the pandemic, and I did some online courses, and eventually, you know, I even tried to make a board game. I don't know what you guys got up to, but yeah, it was a crazy board game. It was a crazy time. And eventually I found that I liked video editing and creating content, and here we are today. Hopefully long may it continue. I do really like doing it. And that's it. That's the 4 or 5 most asked questions, most interesting questions. I'm sure I'll get 100 more questions about how old they are because nobody watches the video. But if you did, thank you for watching this far. Do you agree with my diagnosis of GHD? That's the core question here. What are your thoughts on the fight, the hype, and the way these guys are being treated, the way they're acting? And if I got anything wrong or I mispronounced something, please let me know in the comments below. For example, in my last video, I said that they were lads from Central Asia and people correctly called me out on it. Hasbulla is from Dagestan, and that's not in Central Asia, that's in the Caucasus, so do correct me, do let the people know where I've gone wrong. That's the whole point here. And if you have any more questions or information, please let us know in the comments below. I'm genuinely interested, and as you'll see, I do try to respond to everyone. Thanks, guys.